I have been looking forward to this interview for a couple of days. Not only do we have our friends from ILLINOISouth Tourism, Andy Waterman, always good to see you, but we also have Shawn Gossman, Hiking with Shawn, a guy who apparently knows everything we need to know about Shawnee National Forest in southern Illinois. And this is a place that's been on my bucket list for a while, and I haven't made it there. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, obviously, you love Shawnee National Forest. What is it about this spectacular place that draws people?
Well, I was born and raised here in southern Illinois, and, a lot of people, they think of Illinois as either a lot of tall skyscrapers or flat fields of corn, and you get to the southern portion, and it's just a whole different world. It's hard to believe that that's part of the state.
I mean, we're talking waterfalls and bluffs and the trees. The pictures that I have seen have just been amazing. How big is Shawnee National Forest?
Shawnee National Forest is it's about 280,000 acres, and it spans pretty much across the entire southern portion of the state. Wow.
And you can hike, you can bike. What all is offered?
That's the great thing, that you can just do so much in the Shawnee. There's 400 plus miles of hiking and horseback riding trails. There's newly designated mountain bike trails. There's canoe and kayaking opportunities, and of course, camping, fishing, hunting, all sorts of stuff.
You name it. Where exactly is Shawnee National Forest? What's the closest, municipality?
I guess, Harrisburg would be a good start. That's pretty much close to Garden of the Gods area. Yeah. And then on the west side, Carbondale would be really close.
Tell me more about Gardens of the Gods.
Garden of the Gods, to me, is if you've never been there, that's the place you should start to explore the Shawnee. It has Camel Rock, which is featured on the quarter, and it's so magnificent to see it and to witness it firsthand that once you see it, you'll fall in love with the forest. It's a short, easy hike, and there's just rock formations and scenic overlooks. And if you want to see beautiful fall colors mixed in with bluffs, that's the place to go.
Shawn, hold on. Let's go back. You said it was featured on the quarter, as in the coin that we used to put in a payphone?
Yeah. I forget what series it is. I think it's the Natural Parks or something series, but the Camel Rock is featured for Illinois.
Wow, that is pretty cool. How did you fell in love with it, and then you are now, hiking with Shawn. What all can people find? Do you have a website? Do people follow you on Instagram?
You can go to hikingwithshawn.com. That's my official website. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And you just put in Hiking with Shawn.
And do you offer tips? Are you showing people where to go?
Yeah, so I mainly just show videos. I create videos of where I hike. I also write a lot of guides. Those are all free. I give away information. And here very soon I'm going to be launching a guided hiking service.
Oh, well, you also developed the Shawnee Challenge. Tell me more about this.
Okay. The Shawnee Challenge is a self-supported, 100% free, just outdoor adventure. It's about a 10 to 11 mile route, and it's mixed in with a state park and Shawnee National Forest, and it allows you to either hike and bike it, or you could just hike it or bike it. And people who complete it, they get a little reward from us.
Oh, that's dangling a carrot. You're not going to say what it is?
No.
You got to do
it.
it.
On the website. It's a sticker.
Okay. ShawneeChallenge.com is the place to learn more about that. What do you hear from people after they've kind of wandered into Shawnee National Forest? What surprises them the most?
A lot of times when people hike it, they always talk about the hills. They didn't expect the hills, but they really enjoy all the bluffs and the rock formations.
What kind of wildlife will we discover?
There's all sorts of wildlife out here. There's a lot of deer, a lot of different birding opportunities if you like birds. We also have a road, and I believe it's the only road in the country that closes annually to allow for snakes to migrate.
What? What do you mean the road
Snake
closes?
road.
Like, how many snakes are we talking about?
There's over 20 species of different snakes there, including the cottonmouth, copperhead, and timber rattlesnake.
No.
And they close it 2 times a year for the snakes to migrate from the bluffs to the swamp, and then in the fall, the swamp to the bluffs.
So, Shawn, that doesn't sound like a selling point to me.
That's definitely not in the challenge route. But,
Okay. So somebody on our text line wants to know, are the leaves changing colors right now, and are the wineries open?
The wineries are open, and the leaves are changing colors. I think by the weekend, it should be a really nice fall color.
All right. Shawn, I want to go back to the snakes for just a second. When the roads aren't closed, do you need to be cautious of the snakes?
I think it's important just to take the rule of always watch where you're stepping, whether it's a snake or a drop or, something you can trip over. Most people don't see snakes unless they're looking for them.
Okay, that's good to know. When did you start hiking with Shawn?
I started hiking with Shawn in December of 2016. And it was just a YouTube channel for friends and family, and it turned into something way more.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a great place to go to see lovely videos and learn more about Shawnee National Forest, which, would you say, from downtown St. Louis, takes about how long to get there?
You can get down here in about 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. And it's going to be a beautiful drive the entire way. So, again, the Shawnee Challenge, you can find out more about that, and that's 12 miles of hiking and mountain biking. You can do one or the other, or a combination of the two. Just go to ShawneeChallenge.com. Shawn Gossman, Hiking with Shawn, thanks so much for joining us and sharing some info about Shawnee National Forest.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
All right. So, Andy, you've obviously been to Shawnee National Forest.
Have you times
seen any snakes?
I have.
Okay.
Yes. You have to, like Shawn said, just kind of keep an eye out for where you're going. And it's not like I happened right upon it. It was from a distance. So, you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. But I do want to thank our folks, our friends at Southernmost Illinois Tourism Bureau. They're actually that territory is Garden of the Gods in Shawnee National Forest. And we have a very good rapport, a very good working relationship with them. So I want to thank them for coming on and sharing the Shawnee Challenge today. A lot of people from this area are interested in the Shawnee National Forest. I get
questions all the time. And that's what, I'm not kidding you. That has been at the top of my list, especially Garden of the Gods. It looks stunning. And maybe, and I hate to say this because we do have so much to offer here in the area, but sometimes it makes you feel like you're, 1,000 miles away.
Yes. Yep.
And I think people forget that we have so much beauty right here within 2-3 hours.
Absolutely. And, like you said, Garden of the Gods is great. Rim Rock is also not too far from Garden of the Gods. That's also really great if you're looking for another place. Tunnel. It's just there's so much there in Shawnee National Forest. It's really great. And then, like you said, here, not even that far away, just across the river, we've got the Illinois Caverns, which just reopened this past year.
Oh, yeah.
And they are, we've talked before, they were closed for, about a decade. And they are now closed again.
For the season.
Just for the season, yeah. So we wanted to put that out there. They had an amazing season. So they opened in June, closed at the end of October. October was their busiest month, but they had into the thousands of visitors in just a few short months.
And that is a cavern that you kind of enter into on your own.
So, yes, you're supposed to go down there with a group of 4 and hard hats and 3 sources of light and everything. But it's not like a tourist like a Merrimack Caverns where you go down in there in a pair of flip-flops.
For the real hikers.
Yes, you go down with lights on your helmet and boots and everything. And we were told that they had a lot of folks from Wisconsin and Minnesota make the trip. Now, that's tourism right there.
Yeah.
So
why was it closed for so long?
White nose syndrome in bats. You remember us talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. White nose syndrome in bats.
And what did that do to the bats?
So it was they had it was like a fungus that they had on their bats. Now it didn't really affect humans too much, but
better safe than sorry.
Yes, especially with the bat population. So they had that closed, and they also had some staffing issues and everything. But man, now that it's reopened, it's great.
A popular destination, and it will reopen in April.
Yes, first Wednesday of April, we've been told, but they're closed now for hibernating species that are down there. Let them have their rest during the winter months.
I think that's a good idea. We all need our rest. And to go back to Shawnee National Forest, I think that Shawn said 280,000 acres. I mean, that's
huge.
Hard to imagine, but just so many different probably terrains. And he was talking about the horseback riding and being able to bike or hike. When you've gone down there, I'm assuming easily marked, so if we're a beginner hiker, we can do that on our own?
Yes, and if you go on to the Shawnee National Forest has a website too where you can map out, and there's maps of all of these places where you can easily print them off. The Forest Service, U.S. Department of Agriculture has maps and everything, so you can really plan out what you're going to do before you go. One of my favorite is actually not even hiking. It's the Cache River Wetlands. It's like you're almost in like a bayou. I mean, it is beautiful. They have, like you said, so many. You can go on bluffs, or you can go in like what appears to be a bayou. It's the Cache River Wetlands. All of that down there it's great. I love it down there.
How many days would you think you need to spend if you're going to go to Shawnee National Forest? I mean, do you need a weekend? Should you make it a week?
Oh my gosh, you could probably do a week or 2 weeks and not even see everything and do everything.
Are there a lot of cabins if people don't have an RV like I do that they can, rent a cabin and make a week of it?
There are different cabins and B&Bs and different things like that you can definitely look up all around that area. I mean, it's such a huge area that it goes from. I mean, it's just there are a lot of towns and municipalities and different things like that where you will have B&B opportunities and Verbos and Airbnbs. There are a ton of different opportunities.
And you said Verbo, right?
Yes.
Every time you come in, Andy, I spend half of the time on Google Images. Now I'm looking up the caverns, the Illinois caverns.
I was going to say you didn't really ask a single question. You're just over there digging into everything.
I'm being a tourist just on Google. The Cache River Wetlands, I'm looking up.
What do you think? The pictures on there?
Yeah, it looks
great. Did you
great.
Google Garden of the Gods?
Garden of the Gods.
It's gorgeous.
Is it Camel Rock? Camelback Rock? What was it called?
Yes. That's
looking up the quarter, which now every time I get change, I'm going to have to look on the backs and see if I can find the Illinois one. This all looks great. And just imagining the vistas. By the way, getting up at the top of Garden of the Gods over there, what a view.
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow. How long is it going to take me to climb up this thing, though?
Actually, not as long as you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a view this would be, either for sunset or, well, you probably don't want to be stuck up there on sunset, but if you can get down still with it, still
flashlights are for, Josh.
Okay. I'll get one of those headlamps that Andy was talking
Somebody
about.
said, I'm from Carbondale, Illinois. Shawnee is completely awesome. Somebody else, Little Grand Canyon in Shawnee is a great hike.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at that too. That's really another place. I got to get this on the book because I'm sure the campgrounds fill up in probably 6 months advance.
Oh, it was a very popular place, especially with the pandemic, and everyone was like, let's get outdoors and do everything outdoors. And that, I mean, you definitely got to book ahead.
We've been talking about Shawnee National Forest. Somebody else just said, we went caving around there. Best to go in the winter. Avoid the snakes. Ugh. So I know that you have some great kind of outdoor places in your territory, Illinois-South, as well. What do you recommend?
Yeah, a little closer to home for the folks here in St. Louis. Right across the river in Monroe County right now. A lot of the foliage is turning, and it's gorgeous. We've mentioned Bluff Road before. Mm-hmm. So if you go hiking on Foltz Hill Prairie Nature Preserve, oh my gosh. Once you get to the top, now when you get there, this is probably Josh's nightmare. There's a stairwell that leads you straight up. And you're going literally straight up for about maybe 3/4 of a mile.
What does that mean? Why is that my nightmare? Because it's steps?
Mm-hmm. And,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
is that how you see me?
No, maybe I shouldn't have put it that way. I'm sorry, Josh.
But
when you get to the top, the views are outstanding.
Incredible.
Right. Oh, yes.
You're right.
You know, a couple of people also saying Lassie Sorensen with Food is Love on PBS Restaurant. It's also down in Carbondale. It's called Tom Place and Fine Date Dining in DeSoto, Illinois.
I'm going to dinner there on Saturday.
Are you really?
I am.
So let's do a little food for thought. What else do you have?
So Tom's Place is unfortunately not in our territory, but it is amazing. So if you are at the Garden of the Gods in that area, if you go just a little bit north into White County, there's a place called Norris City. And there's a restaurant called Mimos. And they do, this is for Josh. I brought this idea just for Josh today.
Okay.
It's a 20-inch, extra-large pizza challenge.
Oh, pizza challenge.
Pizza challenge, baby.
All right, what are we talking? Are we talking hand?
Don't do this before you go up that three-quarters of a mile.
No, I would definitely.
No, you need to walk it off, right? Is it hand-tossed? Is it thin crust?
I believe it's hand-tossed, but you might be able to get thin crust. I think you might have an option.
How many toppings?
3, but you can get more than 3.
20-inch by myself?
Yes.
All right, I'll start stretching.
And people have finished it. There was a guy that went in June, but he was a professional eater, and he finished it in 46 minutes.
46 minutes, 27 seconds.
I got to see this pizza. Do you have a picture of it pulled up over there?
He does.
Let me see this thing.
It's pretty large.
Whoa,
Heidi,
that's bigger than I was expecting.
Looks like he's got ham, banana peppers.
I think he went overboard. I think he did more than 3 toppings.
There's pepperoni.
I think I could take half of it.
Black olive. I don't care for black olives.
Oh, I love black
Not on pizza. I can do them cold, but not on pizza. I'm not a huge fan.
You ever stick your finger in the pit of the black olive?
And then eat it off your finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a child.
Sounds like you both are. Somebody else saying Salt Lick Trail in Monroe County has great views as well.
Another beautiful place, great views there, and then other fall foliage views right down in Randolph County, Fort Kaskaskia. That's where you've got the Kaskaskia River and the Mississippi River confluence, and the views from that point at Fort Kaskaskia are outstanding.
And as we've said a little earlier, it looks like the weekend is going to be fantastic. Maybe we're getting back up into the 60s. So you can kind of map out your trail, your road trip. Just go to ILLINOISouth.org. Andy Waterman, always great to catch up with you and find out about other fantastic places in Illinois.
Thanks for having me.